I guess this could be classified as crazy. I don't know. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought it would be fun if I did the TTC tag. That way you all could get to know me a little bit better. So let's get into it. I have all of the questions here on my phone, so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at the questions. So here we go. The first question is, how long have you been TTC? So my husband and I have been actively trying for 1 year. There was a period of time before we actively started trying where we weren't preventing pregnancy. So it was the whole trying not to try kind of thing. And that went on for probably about 6 months. So it has kind of been a lot longer than a year. How many kids do you have, or how many kids do you want? We don't have any kids. We do have one angel baby. I had a miscarriage back in March. But as far as how many kids do we want, I would like 4 kids, and my husband would like 2. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Ultimately, it is in the Lord's hands with how many kids we will be blessed with, but I always envision myself having a lot of kids, so we'll see what happens with that. How old are you and your husband? I am 27 years old. My husband, John, is 29. How long have you been married? John and I have been married for 6 years. What are some crazy things you do while TTC? I don't think I really do anything crazy. Well, okay. I guess this could be classified as crazy. I don't know. But I do have the tendency to obsess over anything I'm feeling during the 2-week wait. So any twinge in my stomach, if I'm feeling tired or nauseous or have a headache or anything, I have the tendency to be like, is this a sign? Is that a sign? What's going on? I must be pregnant. So, I mean, I guess that could be classified as some crazy things. Does your husband know all about the TTC cycle? He knows the basics. He knows the whole fertile window thing and the 2-week wait. I'm pretty good about communicating with him when my fertile window is, so we're always on the same page with that. Have you been diagnosed with any kind of infertility? At this time, I have not. If you have seen my previous videos, I did mention that my husband and I are kind of starting the process of going to my doctor and looking more in depth about possible causes of not getting pregnant. I don't want to say infertility because we haven't been diagnosed with anything, but we are looking into some things right now to kind of see if there maybe is something else going on that might be preventing us from getting pregnant. What keeps you busy in the 2-week wait? Oh, the 2-week wait, the dreaded 2-week wait. It always seems longer than 2 weeks, doesn't it? I mean, I feel for me like the days just drag on. So I say a lot of prayers. Like I mentioned earlier, I have the tendency to obsess over every little thing I'm feeling. So this time around, I'm really trying to just say some prayers and have more trust in the Lord that things will be okay. It's a lot of ups and downs, especially, if you have gone through this, if you have been trying to conceive for a year or even longer, or even shorter than that, you know how much of a roller coaster it is, because you have your fertile window and you're excited and hopeful that something will happen this time, and then you have the 2 week wait where you kind of go down in your emotions and you're wondering, did it happen, did it not happen, what if it did happen, and you kind of panic but get excited about that, but then you also kind of think, oh well, what if it didn't happen this time, and then when it doesn't happen, you have your period, it's like you go through kind of a down point again, and it's such a roller coaster in general. So this time I'm just trying to forget about everything before the miscarriage as far as trying to conceive, like just my tendency to obsess over things. I'm really starting fresh and just trying to have patience and pray that everything will be okay, even if I don't end up pregnant this cycle. I guess to answer that question, lots of prayers and keep busy with other things. You know, whatever your hobbies may be, try to invest your time into that. It'll definitely help pass the time. What day do you usually ovulate? I'm not sure if any of you out there have had a miscarriage before and noticed that your cycle has changed after. I have. Before I had the miscarriage, my cycles were 29 days on the dot. It was very rarely late and very rarely any earlier than 29 days. So based on my charting, I ovulated on day 14 or 15 on average. Since I had the miscarriage, I haven't been charting like I did before. I kind of took a break from all of that. So the only thing I've been keeping track of is when my period starts and ends. So since I had the miscarriage, my cycles are actually now 32 days in length. I am now on my 4th cycle since the miscarriage, so they've all since then been 32 days exactly. So I'm curious to see when I ovulate this time around. This is my first cycle trying to conceive actively since March. So I'll give you guys an update when I find out what my ovulation time frame is this cycle. What gender are you hoping for? I don't care. I would just love to have a healthy, happy baby. How many pregnancy books do you have? Pregnancy books. I have one, and it is the What to Expect When You're Expecting. My husband has one book. I can't remember what it's called. I want to say it's The Expectant Father or The Expecting Father, something like that. I'll find it and I'll put it in the description box below. So I really only have one book, and then my husband has one book. How many HPTs do you go through a cycle? So how many pregnancy tests? 1 to 2. Some cycles I only took one, some cycles I didn't take any. There were a few cycles where I took 2 different tests, but pregnancy tests can get expensive, and at that time when we were trying to conceive before the miscarriage, I would always get the early response test, the 5 days sooner one. So this time around, I'm going to try my best not to do that, but knowing me, I probably will test before my missed period. That is something that I always did. I know I could never ever wait until I missed a period. And the cycle I did get pregnant, I actually tested 4 days before my period was supposed to start, and I got a positive test. So I think because of that, now I will probably always test early, just because I knew I got a positive before. So we'll see, but usually 1 to 2 tests. What have you bought for your baby or pregnancy already? We have not bought anything, I don't think. Yeah, we haven't bought anything. As far as pregnancy goes, the only thing I did buy was the What to Expect When You're Expecting, just because I wanted to have that book on hand in case I did get pregnant at any point. I wanted to be able to reference that book right away. So that's the only thing so far. What themes or designs do you like for a nursery? My husband and I both love Harry Potter. So I think right now our number one choice, if we had to make a choice right now, it definitely would be Harry Potter. It can go for either a boy or a girl. And yeah, I have a whole Pinterest board about Harry Potter nurseries, and I love that idea. If for whatever reason that was out of the question and we could not do that, I love the idea of a Peter Pan themed nursery. I think that would be so adorable, and that could definitely grow with the baby as it goes into toddler age, and even like 4 or 5, or I think it could really grow with them. So I love the idea of having a Peter Pan themed nursery as well. But definitely first choice, Harry Potter. Do you basically this question is asking, do you temp, OPK, charting? Yes, I do chart. I have been charting for probably about 2 years now. I use a method called FAM, and FAM stands for the Fertility Awareness Method. And I first learned about FAM through a book. I actually have it right here. It is called Taking Charge of Your Fertility. You guys, if you have not read this book, go and order it and read it right now. Go and download it and read it on your phone, or order it on Amazon or something. This book has helped me so much. I have learned so many things about cycles, and just, oh my gosh, I could probably do a whole video on this book one day. If that's something you're interested, please let me know, and I would be happy to do that. The fertility awareness method, basically there's 3 main things you track always, every day, and that is your waking temperature, cervical fluid, and then cervical position. So each morning when I wake up, before I get out of bed, before I do anything, I take my temperature and then I log it in my phone. So when I say charting, I don't actually write out a chart. I know some people prefer to do that, and that's okay. For me, I like to use an app on my phone. And this time around, I am using an app called Glow. It's really easy to use, and you can put in so much more than just those 3 things. So I put in my temperature every day, my cervical fluid, and then anything else you're feeling. You can put your moods, whether you're happy or sad, whatever, any other things that happen to you that day, health-wise, you can log, and it creates a chart for you on its own. So I really love using that app, and the FAM method is amazing and has helped me so much. Honestly, had I not been using the fertility awareness method, I don't think I would have known I was pregnant so soon. It's because of this book and all I've learned from it that I knew very, very early on. Before I even took a pregnancy test, I knew I was pregnant. So definitely check out that book. It will help you tremendously. So the other part of that question was, do you use OPKs? You guys, I have never used ovulation tests. I know that sounds crazy, but the fertility awareness method doesn't really, you can use them, but it's not really necessary if everything is lining up between your waking temperature, your cervical fluid, all of that. But this cycle, I decided to try out OPKs. Mostly out of just curiosity. I wanted to see if I even get a positive ovulation test, and if I do, does it align with my temperatures, cervical fluid, all of that. So I'm really just kind of curious and seeing what happens with that. I didn't want to go out and get a digital test because they're pretty expensive for my budget. So what I did do was I found this on Amazon, and it's the Easy at Home Ovulation Test Kit. It was $20, and it comes with 50 ovulation tests and 20 pregnancy tests. So it's a 2-for-1 kind of thing, and I thought $20 for all of that was a really good deal. So I'm trying it out this cycle. I would love to know if you have used that test kit or any ovulation tests. Do you think they are worth it? Are they a waste of money? Do they work? If you have any suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments down below, and I would love to hear them. I will give you guys an update on how the ovulation tests work out for me this cycle. So I'm still pretty early on in my cycle this month. I think I'm on day 11 right now. So I started using these tests this morning. I took one, so we'll see what happens. The next question is, do you have a birth plan? Yes, I wouldn't say it's a set in stone plan, but I have an idea of how I would like things to go in a perfect world. I would love to do all natural, unmedicated birth. I also would love to have a midwife and or a doula. I'm not sure how that will really work out, depending, I have no idea if and when I get pregnant, if everything's going to be okay, if I'm going to be high risk, I don't know. But I would love to have a midwife and or a doula for sure. And the last question is, would you consider adoption? Absolutely, yes. My husband was actually the one who mentioned that first. And ever since then, we have been talking about it more and more. We're just not sure that right now that's something that's actually possible for us. I haven't mentioned this in my previous videos, but my husband John is in the military, and with his schedule right now, I know there's a lot that he would have to be present for, and right now that's just not possible. So I don't know how that whole adoption process would go for us. If it could happen right now, honestly, I would do it in a heartbeat. But it's just trying to figure out those logistics with John's schedule. It's really difficult. So we'd have to really look into that more and maybe meet with a counselor or someone who deals with adoptions and see if that's possible for us in the near future. But definitely, yes, that is something we both feel strongly about. We would definitely consider that. All right, you guys, that's all the questions. I had so much fun answering them. I will have all of the questions listed down below for you in case you are interested in doing a similar video. If you have any questions for me, any suggestions, please leave them down below. I would love to interact with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.